Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Sneha for CELPIP and IELTS. Now in today's video, I am going to discuss section 3, part 3 of CELPIP reading. So if you've already gone through my previous videos, over there we discussed part 1 of reading, which was reading for correspondence. Then we discussed part 2 of reading, which was reading to apply a diagram. And today we are going to discuss part 3 of reading, which is reading for information. Now this part 3 of reading for information, here you have 9 questions and you're given 10 minutes. So, in reading for information, what's going to happen is, as the name suggests, now this text, it is going to be informative. As you can see, as compared to part 1 and part 2, this one definitely looks like more complex. It's lengthier, no doubt, and there is a lot of information for you to absorb in this part. And in this part 3 of reading, the format of the question, that is also somewhat different from what we have discussed so far. So if you people remember, in part 1, part 2, we had MCQs, multiple choice question, where there were 4 options given for each of the question. There was a drop down menu and then you had to select 4 options. Here, your 4 options, they would be somewhat different in nature. Let me explain how. So here, basically what you have to do is, there is this passage given to you with lots of information, and then there are certain statements. As you can see on the right hand side, these statements 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 and 9. All these are questions. And here, what you have to do is, you basically have to tell that which information is in which paragraph. And you have to write the corresponding alphabet of the paragraph as the answer. For example, let's say you think this information of question number 1, it's there in paragraph B. So you are going to write B as the answer for question number 1. If you think for question number 2, this information is in para A, you are going to mark A as the answer. So you're going to write this alphabet B, alphabet A as the answer. In your exam, again, it's going to be a drop down menu. In drop down menu, you will have these A, B, C, D, as you can see, for paragraphs. And if for any question you think that this information, it's not at all there in the text doesn't discuss this information at all, then you're going to mark E as your answer. Now E here clearly says not given in any of the above paragraphs. So let's say this question number 3, this information, it's not given anywhere in the passage, so I am going to choose E as the answer. So this is how we solve part 3 of reading. Now, talking about the strategies, what are the skills that you need to have over here. Here, you again will be using skimming to understand the gist, to understand the summary. You will be using scanning to scan keywords from the question within the text. So you are again going to use mix of scanning and skimming here only. Now for your part 3, there are 2 approaches that you people can use. I am going to discuss approach number 1 first. So over there, what's your usual approach is that you come to the question directly, read question number 1. Evidence suggests gum chewing can enhance some brain functions. Read question number 1, mark the keywords. Evidence. What the evidence suggests? Gum chewing can enhance brain functions. So these are our keywords. Now I am going to scan the text for these keywords. So I have to look that where are these keywords in my text. So this is approach first, where you read the question first, you go to the text, scan the keyword, in whichever paragraph you think has this piece of information, you mark its corresponding alphabet as the answer. Similarly, you repeat the process for the entire question. For all the question, you're going to match the keywords directly. Now, in this approach, some students might have this problem that, you have to read the paragraphs again and again, and that can be a bit time consuming for some. So for those people, we have this second approach. Here, what you can do is, instead of reading the question first, you read one paragraph, that is para A, first. Read para A completely, and when I talk about reading, I don't only say read, comprehend. You're reading for comprehension, to understand, retain the information. When you're done reading, you should remember what was there. So when I say read paragraph A, understand it, remember the main points that para A discuss. Alright, so what para A discusses, you have to remember those points. So let's say I read this para A. First record of chewing gum dates back to Finland about 5,000 years ago. Neolithic period chewing gum was made of bark tar and was widely utilized for its antiseptic and medicinal properties. In America, chewing gum was first introduced to settlers by the American Indians who chewed resin made from the sap of spruce trees. After World War II, chewing gum was made of a latex sap substance called chicle, which has been steadily engineered and replaced by synthetic rubbers and artificial sweeteners that allow for greater flavoring, coloring, and texture. Modern chewing gum hardly resembles its predecessors in appearance and flavor. It has also gained unprecedented popularity, becoming a $20 billion industry in North America. So now, what I'm doing is, I am understanding what are the main points. So definitely para A talks about history of chewing gum, that it dates back to Finland 5,000 years ago. Initially, in Neolithic period, chewing gum was made of bark tar and it was used as an antiseptic. Then, in America, it was introduced by American Indians, and this was made from the sap of spruce trees. Then it talks about World War, that after World War, chewing gum was made of chicle, and this substance has been engineered, means it has been changed and replaced by synthetic rubber. So if it was initially made of natural substances, now it's started being made of synthetic rubbers and artificial sweeteners. So then it says modern chewing gum hardly resembles its predecessors in both color and appearance and flavor. Then it says that it has gained a massive popularity and it is a really big industry today in North America. So this is what para A it talks about. Now what I'm going to do is, since I have read para A, I have understood what are the main points being discussed over here. So now I go to the questions. Again, I mark the keywords of the question and I try to match each question with para A, only para A. So we are going to do it paragraph wise and we are going to solve part 3 using this approach today. So since we have read para A, question number 1 says, evidence suggests some chewing gum can enhance some brain functions. So I know this para A does not talk about brain functions at all, right? This is not going to be my answer. You can scan for the keywords. This para A does not talk about brain function at all. Come to question number 2. The chemical bases of chewing gum have been reformulated. Chemical bases, reformulated. These are my keywords. Now I know that this para talked about how this chewing gum, it was made from natural substances initially and then that was replaced by synthetic rubbers. So, chemical bases of chewing gum have been reformulated. After World War, chewing gum was made of a latex sap, chicle, which has been steadily engineered. So again, when I say you have to match the keywords, now I have said this thing enough number of times so far that you don't only match the exact keywords, you also look for synonyms. You also look for closely associated words. So clearly, chemical basis, it's used for this chewing gum that it was made of a latex sap. Earlier that was made of spruce trees, made of resin, made of this one bark tar. Those were natural. Now it started being made by using synthetic rubber. So it's been engineered, its formula has been changed, reformulated chemical basis. So this is, it's there in A. So that is why I am going to mark A as the answer for question number 2. So similarly, now we read question number 3. Question number 3 says, chewing gum is used post-operatively as a healing aid. Now, my keywords are post-operatively, healing aid. If I go back to para A, now I remember what are the points discussed, right? Does it talk anything related to post-operatively? Post-operatively means after surgery, after operation, medical operation. So does this paragraph talk about healing aid, about surgery or anything? Not at all, right? This only discuss the chemical basis, like how it was, chemical base was natural previously in the history, and then it started being made artificially, right? So this one, it's not there in A. I'm going to leave this one. Come to question number 4. There can be lifelong damage associated with regular intake of synthetic sugar. So the keywords here are lifelong damage, synthetic sugars, regular intake. Now again, para A does not talk anything related to lifelong damage. I know there is no such keyword in para A that you find related to question number 4. It's not there in A. Come to question number 5. Chewing gum can curb some unhealthy dependence behavior. Something related to curbing. Curbing means to stop, to put an end to something, to diminish something. So chewing gum can curb some unhealthy dependence behavior. So can chewing gum be used to stop, to put an end to some unhealthy behaviors? Again, A does not talk about it. We leave this one as well. 6 says some researchers oppose the reported benefits of chewing gum. Now, are we talking about researchers, they have opposed benefits? Here we did not discuss researchers at all in para A. I'm going to leave this one as well. 7 says patients who chew gum regularly tend to be more neglectful of their oral hygiene. Does it talk anything related to patients who chew gum regularly and they are neglectful of their oral hygiene? Not at all. Come to question number 8. Early chewing gum was entirely natural. Early means in history. It was entirely natural. Yes. Para A definitely talks about it. How? When it says in Neolithic period, chewing gum was made of bark tar. Then in America, it was introduced by settlers and then it was made of spruce trees. So, before World War II, chewing gum was made entirely natural. It was after World War II when it was, when it started being made of synthetic rubbers. So, yes, early in history, chewing gum was entirely natural. So, this will have A as the answer. And last question, the benefits of sugar-free gum are recognized. Now, para A definitely does not talk anything related to benefits of sugar-free gum. So, I'm going to leave this one as well. And now, what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to read para B. Again, read it, remember the points, match them back to the questions. Over the past decades, the bad reputation chewing gum earned for causing cavities and gum disease has also begun to dwindle. with the advent of sugarless chewing gum, most dentists today deem chewing gum in moderation to be harmless or even potentially beneficial to oral hygiene. In addition, functional chewing gum, a special category of gum that imparts a practical function in addition to or as a replacement for the usual enjoyment provided by a confectionery gum, has become increasingly prescribed by dentists and doctors alike. Conditions such as bad breath and tobacco addictions are now commonly treated with functional gum. Surgeons also prescribe functional chewing gum for patients recovering from gastrointestinal surgeries. Now here, what are the points being discussed? First point is, earlier, chewing gum had a bad reputation because it caused cavities and gum diseases. But that began to dwindle. Means now with the advent of sugarless chewing gum, that when sugarless chewing gum they started coming in market, dentists what they have realized is that when chewing gum it's eaten in limit, in moderation, it's harmless. It can even be beneficial to oral hygiene. In addition, functional chewing gum, a special category of gum which imparts a practical function. Now we are talking about this functional chewing gum. It's a special kind of chewing gum which has a special function. Now this chewing gum, functional chewing gum, it is being prescribed by dentists and doctors today. Why? Because these conditions of bad breath, tobacco addiction, these can be treated with this functional chewing gum. And then it says, surgeons, they also are prescribing this functional chewing gum for those patients who are recovering from gastrointestinal surgeries. So these are the points that are there in B. And now, we again come to the questions. We try to match the questions with paragraph B. Evidence suggests gum chewing can enhance some brain functions. Does not talk about brain functions at all. It's not there. Third says chewing gum is used post-operatively as a healing aid. Yes. The last line exactly says so. Surgeons prescribe functional chewing gum for patients recovering from gastro surgeries. So, post-operation, after surgery, paraphrasing, healing aid, right? If they are prescribed for patients who are recovering from surgeries, that means as a healing aid, it's being prescribed after surgery. So, definitely this information is there in B. Fourth says, lifelong damage with regular intake of synthetic sugars. It does not talk anything related to lifelong damage. 5. Chewing gum can curb some unhealthy dependence behavior. Now, this one is a bit tricky. And this one, it's there in B. It's hard to find. And in your examination, you have such questions which have, this complex paraphrasing. Try to understand. Curb, as I said, means to make something less, to put an end to something. Unhealthy behavior. Unhealthy behavior, it's a negative word, right? Now come to this para B. It says conditions such as bad breath and tobacco addictions. Is tobacco addiction an unhealthy behavior? Yes. Is addiction a dependence behavior? Yes. You are dependent on tobacco. Unhealthy behavior, unhealthy dependent behavior. So chewing gum can curb unhealthy behavior? Yes. Conditions such as tobacco addiction are now commonly treated with functional gum. So again, it's a paraphrasing. It's there in para B. So I will have B as the answer of this question number 5. And now we are left with these questions. Question number 6. Some researchers oppose the reported benefits of chewing gum. So in para B, I know that it only talks about benefits. It does not talk about anything negative related to chewing gum. So it's not there in B. Patients who chew gum regularly tend to be more neglectful of their oral hygiene. Now, if you look at the keywords, oral hygiene, and if you try to match it with bad breath, you might think that these are one and the same thing. But it's a trap. Be very cautious about such things in your CELPIP. Do not answer only on the basis of certain keywords. Try to understand the complete meaning. This means that you have to see whether the information given in the question, the statement given in the question, that completely is in agreement with what a certain paragraph says. If you're able to find only certain keywords, then that is not going to be the answer. You have to make sure that question matches 100% with the text. Meaning should be same. So here it says, patients who chew gum regularly, they neglect their oral hygiene. Here what we were saying, that conditions such as bad breath, it is treated with functional gum. Now these two are not one and the same thing. So this is again not there in B. 8 has been already solved. 9 says the benefits of sugar-free gum are recognized. Now I know it definitely talks about benefits. Paragraph B, right? So again, it also talks about sugarless chewing gum, sugar-free, sugarless. Are we talking about benefits? Yes. Why? It says when sugar-free chewing gum they came in market, now dentists they say that it's beneficial to oral hygiene. Beneficial to oral hygiene. So yes, there are benefits. Dentists are recognizing those benefits. Yes. So this is going to be B. Now we have solved 8th, we have solved 9th, 5th, 3rd, 2nd. We are going to solve the rest of these. Now we come to paragraph C. C says, recent research suggests the benefits of gum may not be limited to medicated gum. Now research, it says that benefits of gum, they are not only limited to medicated gum. Chewing regular gum has been found to boost cognitive performance in many ways, including improved reaction time. It boosts brain development. So how? It improves reaction time, motor control, and alertness. These effects have been found to come at an expense, however. Although as many as 8 areas of the brain are activated by the simple act of chewing gum, the cognitive gains of mastication-induced arousal can only be sustained for a short period. Moreover, chewing gum was observed to interfere with verbal fluency and short memory tasks. Now, this definitely talks about how it boosts cognitive performance. Then it says that this mastication-induced arousal, that is only for a short period in chewing gum. And it interferes with verbal fluency and short memory tasks. So, these are the 3-4 main points that are there in para C. So, again we come to the rest of the question. Again, starting from question 1. Evidence suggests gum chewing can enhance some brain functions. Yes, it talks about brain functions if you remember. Cognitive performance, boost to cognitive performance. 8 areas of brain are activated by simple act of chewing gum. So yes, chewing gum, it boosts brain function. So this would be C. We are done with this as well. Now we are left with 4th. Does it talk anything related to lifelong damage by synthetic sugars? No. 6 says researchers oppose the reported benefits of chewing gum. So researchers, they suggest that benefits may not be limited to medicated gum. Now this is not talking anything related to researchers opposing something, opposing benefits. No. Researchers here are not opposing benefits. They are saying that there are even more benefits like boost to cognitive performance. So this is not there in C. 7th again. It's about oral hygiene. It's again not there in C. Now we are left with para D. Para D says, oral health researchers posit the short-lived cognitive gains of chewing gum pale in comparison to their potentially hazardous health effects. Now, scientists, what they are doing is, they are measuring benefits and health effects, hazardous health effects of chewing gum. They claim the innocuousness of sugarless gum is a myth, expounding that sugar substitutes such as aspartame have been increasingly linked to different types of cancer and autoimmune diseases. That means sugarless gum which has aspartame, this is linked to cancer, autoimmune diseases. They also point to possible chronic irreversible conditions that may ensue from excessive chewing gum, such as headaches, tightness in jaw muscles and nerves, metabolic imbalances and irregularities in mastication that range from tooth decay to bone loss. So this paragraph talks about hazardous health effects. It's not talking about benefits anymore. Now we'll look at rest of the question. Question number 4 says, there can be lifelong damage associated with regular intake of synthetic sugar. Yes. D talks about it. How? Now my keywords here are lifelong damage, synthetic sugar, regular intake. So if you look at this, chronic irreversible condition, lifelong damage, irreversible, something that cannot be reversed. Health conditions such as cancer, autoimmune, and is it talking about synthetic sugar? Yes. Sugarless gum, aspartame. So this information is there in D. So this is going to be D. This is the answer for question number 4. And we are left with question number 6. Some researchers oppose the reported benefits of chewing gum. Yes. Opposing benefits means talking about its ill effects. And D talks about the ill effects of chewing gum, right? It's clearly said in the first line. Researchers, they are weighing benefits and hazardous health effects. So yes, some researchers are now opposing the reported benefit of chewing gum. So it's there in D. Now we are left with question number 7. 7th was not there in A, B, C. It's not even there in D. This text does not talk that those who chew gum regularly, they neglect their oral health. So here my answer is going to be E. So this is how you solve part 3 of CELPIP reading for information. There are 2 approaches. We saw approach number 2, the second one that we discussed today. Reading each paragraph and matching the keywords of the question. I hope reading part 3 of CELPIP must be clear to all of you by now. And you must be more, confident from now onwards, right? So, if you have not done it so far, please go to my channel. Subscribe to my channel, like my videos, share them with whosoever needs them, and I'm going to meet you in our next video where we are going to discuss CELPIP reading part 4. Till then, thank you, take care, bye-bye.